Lightning hits Meghan and Harry's ears. Massive blow to the whinging ex-royals. The Commonwealth erased all traces of Sussex. Hello and a very warm welcome to Kate Middleton and the Queen News YouTube channel. So earlier today, an interesting thing happened. Harry and Meghan are completely taken off of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust website as it's launching a brand new design. And this came, of course, after Meghan and Harry's Netflix docuseries took aim at the Commonwealth. Meghan and Harry used to be president and vice president of QCT before they stepped down from royal duties 2 years ago. Now, all right, I would say that is a pretty good start. I was also wondering why in the world they were still on that website. It's not like they're actually doing anything for the organization. I mean, does the website keep a list of ex-employees somewhere on it? Why in the world would Harry and Meghan have their names attached to something they are not affiliated with anymore? And also, since it's connected to the royal family, I would assume they wouldn't want their names on it anyway, because last time I checked, they said the royal family were racist. I guess the next thing is maybe we can find all traces of Meghan and Harry wiped from the newsfeed. And finally, I hope that all traces of them will be wiped from the face of the earth. And the problem is not that they did not want to support Harry's grandmother anymore. They could have easily left with dignity and nobody would have a problem with them now. But the thing they did was leave, and then they launched bombs at the UK. They attacked the whole country with baseless allegations, claiming that Archie did not get a title thanks to his skin color. Oh, whatever. Obviously, that was a lie. They should feel so ashamed of themselves, but I know they don't because the two of them don't have any shame. And it was wrong how they referred to the Commonwealth as Empire 2.0 on their stupid Netflix show. That's basically the same thing as calling apples oranges. Can the two of them not read some books? I mean, they know they can be wealthy and knowledgeable at the same time, right? Did someone tell them that? Because apparently they don't know. They truly are such a disgrace. Now, in my opinion, I just assume that the nasty Sussex pair would be stripped of any involvement in any royal enterprises. They're not a part of the royal family any longer, they don't perform any functions, and they don't have any formal connections to the royal family. And also, they were quite a liability when they were on royal duties. Just look at South Africa and Australia, for example. And Harry was born royal. If he decided to come back to the UK, could anyone really stop Meghan and Harry from taking up the life and duties of senior royals, more or less where they left off? Allow me to clarify. So being born a royal and being a working senior royal are two very different things. One is a matter of fact that is pretty easy to verify. Yes, Harry is the directly descended grandchild of the current monarch. He's the son of the heir and he's the brother of his heir. That all has to do with the biological reality, so it's not able to be changed. But a working royal is a different story. It's more like a job. They are given duties by the monarch that they're supposed to perform. They're supposed to go out and visit schools and hospitals. They're supposed to show up at state dinners. They're supposed to appear at events like the Olympics. They even are expected to do a little bit of diplomatic work, or maybe they go on visits to overseas territories. And for a few years before the late Queen passed away, Charles, as the heir, was even busy doing some of the duties of the monarch, like conferring honors. And now they are paid money to perform these duties, so the monarch is officially the employer. Now the government also has a say in all of this, but typically they don't have a problem with anything having to do with the royal family, as long as the royal family member is not very controversial. Now, Harry chose to step back from being a working royal. So when he did that, he decided to give up the money. He was no longer required to perform the duty, so of course he wouldn't receive the paycheck anymore. Harry wanted to move to California with Meghan, and he wanted to figure out his own way in the world. And that's a decision that I respect him for. I can only assume the Queen gave his duties to another member of the royal family, probably William. And if he decided to come back, the monarch at that time could decide, probably in consultation with the government and at least one eye on the optics in the media, whether or not they were going to accept him back into that role. Would reappointing Harry be viewed as a good or bad thing by the public at large? Is there even a suitable role that he could fulfill? All right, so for example, let's look to 20 years in the future. Charles might still be the king, but I think it's more likely that William will be by then. And William's children by that time will be in their 20s. Now those children, well, they're children today, but at that time they won't be. They may be about ready to become working royals, so they would end up doing the same stuff that Harry was doing before he walked away. And William or Charles may be willing to give Harry a job, but at the same time, they may think that he's too old, and maybe they're going to think that he's too American to really be able to connect with the population of the UK. So yes, if they want to, they can prevent Harry from being a working royal. I'm not so sure he would even ask, though, but he can go back to the UK, and he can still officially be a royal duke. Now, most families do have a black sheep. The royal family has two, Harry and Andrew, and they are still family members, but they're not trustworthy. So basically, they need to lay low for the rest of their days. And I never really see the words work ethic, dedication, and Harry together, but I'm guessing his aunt could find him some job. Maybe he could clean out the stables if he really wants to be a working royal. And the king doesn't really need to do anything to stop Meghan and Harry from doing that. The only thing he needs to do is not invite them back. It's not like they can just waltz back into royal duties and royal privileges. Basically, it would be the same thing as if you or I tried to walk back into a job like nothing ever happened after we had angrily quit and had a big fight with the bosses. Now, of course, Harry is still a member of the family, but just think about it carefully. If you had a grown child who fought with you and then ran off to the other side of the world announcing that he was going to be independent from now on, would you let him just decide to move back into your home and also get an allowance from you whenever he wanted to? Well, of course not. So it's important to really learn the difference between the royal family in lowercase letters and the royal family in capital letters. Harry was born into the first, and nothing, of course, can change that. But the second part is a business, and they have paid employees. Now the king is the CEO, and he determines who's going to work for him and what it is they will do. Harry decided to quit, and he walked away. And considering his subsequent actions, it's very unlikely that Charles is ever going to rehire him as a working royal. So basically, while Harry remains a member of the family, he is not a member of the family with a capital F. Now I know it's not easy to understand, but he resigned from his job. So after he did that, his boss would have to carefully consider the merits of re-employing him. And in my opinion, that is not going to happen ever. I mean, after Harry has insulted the family, told so many lies, it's not like he could represent them in PR duties. And a royal expert has weighed in, saying, I have no doubt his father would welcome him back, as he is the son, and most parents love their children unconditionally. I'm sure the rest of the royal family would be very nervous about what they said and did around him, and his wife, as their track record for loyalty and discretion isn't particularly high. I think the big problem for Harry and the royal family as a whole is the reception he would receive from the British public, who at the time of his meeting and marrying Meghan Markle was on the whole very supportive of him and genuinely happy for him that he had found the right one. However, his subsequent behavior has left a significant majority dismayed and shocked by his behavior, which is just not the way you behave and act towards your family, especially in public. I guess we should have known by the way his wife acted towards her own family that there were warning signs, but naively thought that she would adopt his pattern of behavior, not he hers. I would also assume they would be pretty embarrassed about the kind of reception they got from the British public. It's not likely to be the adulation they feel like they're entitled to. And you, do you agree with me? Please tell me what you think below in the comments. If you preferred this video this evening, please remember to like and share it. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye, and we will be back to see you tomorrow.